This is it, what? Fettuccine with the team, we getting lit. What? Got it rolled up, now who really tryna hit? One, puff, puff, then we pass. Then we pass. Then we pass.
Hold on, ho. Hold on, ho. Hey. 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 Whoa.
Come on now. You can never go wrong with the A's. Like if you get an A chant going, come on, fam.
Yo.
Come on, fam.
That's the clip right there.
Come on, fam. What you gonna do?
That's the clip.
What you gonna do with it? What's going on? It's crispy outside.
It is crispy outside. It's a whole lot going on. It's really active.
I mean, you see, it's almost time to bundle up. The clocks done went back.
The clocks done went back.
When we gonna get over with that? When is that expired? Like, can you let us know when that expires? Like the daylight savings and all of that, like fall back and all. Like I'm done with it. I'm over it.
Nah, I fuck with it. I like it. I think there's a regulatory thing with the body. You know what I'm saying? That happens.
Flow, like you just gotta change time.
It happens. Right? It's real.
You gotta fall back and then catch up with time.
Absolutely. Because in the spring, when we spring ahead, everybody be ready for that.
You spring forward.
We spring forward, and everybody be ready to catch up and throw down, foot on neck.
Yeah, but we could just stay forward.
You could stay forward, but then everybody can't catch up.
Oh, so we got to come back to that.
Because you got to come back and get the ones in the back.
I feel you.
You got to get the rest of them.
Well, you know what? It's your man EarthTone.
Hey, your man, the real Peasy, holding you down with the right dose of the highest. No.
See, I feel like I see what type of night you having. Like you got your glass in hand. You out here. You feeling good.
Hand.
Looking good, feeling good. You know what I'm saying?
Mine. Let me tell you something. We only got a couple more episodes in this season.
Listen.
For y'all, and
talk about it.
It is like it's been a run for y'all, and we got a lot to talk about today.
We done seen it all.
We done seen it, been through it all.
What y'all just doing right now, man.
Word of mother for real. Queen bee, baby. Look here. B.I.G. Exactly. You feel me? Right.
If you know about it, you know about it. And if you don't,
go do your Google.
Do your research.
Google,
you know what I'm saying?
And find out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we'll spring forward for you.
Exactly. So what we got for him today? How you feeling? Like what type of, first of all, you good? How you feeling? You good? You all right?
I'm outside. We're still outside.
I already know.
Regardless.
Just a temperature check.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely. Temperature's still up.
So what we doing?
We got a couple of micro segments that we're going to do.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We're going to spend some time.
I'll through with them things.
You know what I'm saying? We're going to catch the people up on the things that's been going on. But we're going to do the first one. We think y'all like this one because, you know what I'm saying, checking in with y'all. Y'all been checking in with us.
It's been a little minute since we dabbled with this one.
Yeah, y'all been letting us know the vintage vibe is definitely hitting. And we got another one. We got a couple of them for y'all.
We got to double up. Double up on the vintage.
This is probably the last time.
Double the vibe, double the vintage.
So we're going to give y'all double time.
Okay.
Double the vintage here. The first one that I got for y'all, we're going to throw it all the way back.
Who you got?
To a simpler time.
A simpler time.
It was a simpler time. It was a simpler time in the very beginning of this whole thing.
Wow.
When we had just one really out queer celebrity who was doing music, pop star, kind of broke the mold, if you will, introduced the idea of a queer pop star and started the conversation of what that would look like and what that would mean. And we're going to throw it back to Adam Lambert. We're going to give it up to him.
Whoa.
And I picked the song, What Do You Want From Me?
What do you want from me?
What do you want from me?
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you how I was feeling, but I'm going to give you a couple of tidbits for those that might not have been around when this song kind of popped off. Ooh, catch that.
I saw that coming.
Catch that. Ooh. All right, a little saucy here, guys. Get that one back. All right. So, Adam Lambert, you might remember him from American Idol. He was on the 8th season. He was a runner-up. So his single "What Do You Want From Me" came from his debut album For Your Entertainment, way back in 2010. So the song was originally, fun fact, it was written by Pink. She wrote it for her album in 2008.
I can hear that.
Funhouse.
Yes, that album was tough.
Funhouse?
Yeah.
I was, okay, so fun fact again, I was off the Pink bus by the time.
Wait, what album was that?
So it was a little later down the line. So
Funhouse might not be the album I'm thinking about. Let me.
So after Misunderstood, way back in 2001, I kind of left Pink. So this is after Marmalade, and then she kind of really went into alternative rock.
Yeah,
and all of
she
that.
took a curve.
She definitely went, further into that. Kind of did like mainstream alternative rock and whatnot.
She definitely did.
Yeah, so Funhouse is further in that lane.
Was it? So
Yeah.
I'm thinking a different project then.
So What was one of the singles from it. I couldn't sing it for you if I, was like on a gurney dying and whatnot, but that was that album.
Okay.
And she wrote the song "What Do You Want From Me" for that album, and it was not chosen. It wasn't chosen for the album, so gave it to Adam Lambert.
Okay.
He sang the song. It became a hit for him.
Okay, yeah.
His basically his highest charting pop single, from that album and of his career. It charted at number 10 on the Hot 100.
Look at that.
And he kind of caused a lot of controversy singing on the American Music Awards. He wasn't singing this particular song. He was singing a different song. But he was on stage and he grabbed his drummer, planted a big fat kiss on him on that stage, and grabbed another person in his band by the crotch. And it was a big deal. He had a couple of his gigs canceled. It was a whole.
They wasn't having that.
It was a whole big deal. It was a whole conversation.
And that wasn't even that
piece.
long ago.
And it was in 2010. But eventually, like once he kind of just stood his ground, stood on business, and like they heard him out, and they kind of like let him back in again. They kind of gave him some of his gigs back, and slowly but surely he stayed part of the culture.
Got back into the wave.
Kind of got back into the wave. But What Do You Want From Me was like kind of a big bang moment for like queer artists and openness in the pop culture community. So I picked that one because I do remember that moment coinciding with when I came out of the military. I was in college, and that's when I was working on my debut album.
Oh shit!
It was happening around that time, and I was kind of like already coming into my own, deciding that I wanted to perform openly as an openly gay artist and whatnot. And those type of things were in the conversation. People in my community were kind of talking about it, and that was
that was a big thing.
It was the inspiration for some of my music.
Wow.
So us doing this podcast is kind of built on that whole premise. And I don't know if we really got into Adam Lambert except like on, just kind of
I feel like we definitely mentioned, definitely mentioned them.
Yeah, we mentioned them, but not really got into him. So I just kind of wanted to give him, his
that.
props.
Okay.
And that's where I'm going.
Love it. Okay, I like it. So
Adam Lambert, what do you want from me? There you go.
Big Adam. All right.
Shout out.
Come on now. Well, keeping it vintage, we're going to take it even further back.
Oh, man.
We're going to take it back.
We're going to get further back.
Further in the music. You know what I'm saying? Ma Rainey.
Ooh.
Ma Rainey. If you know anything about it, it might ring a bell.
Not Ma Rainey's Mingarell. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh
ring
man.
a bell.
Maybe you need this.
Yeah. It might ring a bell for you.
Not Ma Rainey's Black Bottom Mingarell.
Yes. See? There you go. So we're going to get into it.
All right, let's do it.
Gertrude Pridgett.
Ooh.
AKA Ma Rainey.
Whoa.
Q plus blues artist from Columbus, Georgia.
Okay.
Dubbed the mother of blues.
All right.
She started singing as a teenager. Got signed by Paramount in 1923. She made her first 8 songs by the end of that year. One of her biggest joints was Moonshine Blues. That came out of those first 8 joints. So she kind of took off early on. She got married early on to I think his name was Pa Rainey. So that's how she got her last name.
Okay.
the first black woman to record a record happened in 1920. So she was like around that pocket. 3 years after that, she recorded her first joints. So she around that era. So talk about taking it back. We talking about the 1920s. She was known for her powerful vocals and her moaning singing style. So that kind of give you the kind of bag she was in. While most of her lyrics, you know, that she mentioned that were talking about sexuality and things of that nature, she always referred to, you know, relations with men most of the time.
Right.
She did have a few where she touched on lesbianism and even bisexuality. In one of her joints in 1928 called Prove It On Me. And this joint, she was kind of like, it sounded like somebody might have seen her doing something and was talking shit, but she was like, all right, well, if you ain't got no proof, you ain't got no pictures, like, prove it. Like, prove it on me. Like, what's up? Like, yeah, like, these my girls. I probably, you know what I mean? I'm walking around with them. I don't fuck with niggas like that. If you saw me with friends, they was probably with me because I don't like men. That's one of the bars. She was like giving it up like that in the 20s. I was like, ooh, all right, ma. She's also known, so reason why I said the name might ring a bell, she's known to have a relationship with Bessie Smith, who is another legendary blues artist. And recently in, 2015, they had the Bessie came out, which was a movie based on the life of Bessie Smith.
Right.
And Monique portrayed Ma Rainey in that movie. And then also you just mentioned Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Right.
The play, 1982 play, Whoopi, I didn't realize, played Ma Rainey in one of the renditions of that play. It was based on a book. It was a fictionalized novel based on the recording of the song Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, which was originally the song by Ma Rainey. So there you have it, Ma Rainey. I thought I had never really heard of her until the Bessie movie. And then I kind of, you know, I did a little research and started seeing what she, you know, how her journey came about. And to come out, I'm always astonished by the artists that were like out and proud around those eras, because it was already enough to be like a black person in America.
Right.
So like to come in and throw like some more fuel on the fire, just like, and not even to say that you throwing it, it's just being yourself, but like,
yeah,
to come out and be out and proud with it and be like, nah, fuck it, here, I'm gonna take whatever come with that. That's some bold, beautiful shit, and it's dope.
I love hearing about it.
Yeah, man, it's crazy because you could just imagine like some of the stuff that came with that.
Yeah.
And then especially being a woman, it's like, damn, like I love it. It's beautiful. But these are those inspiring, those historical stories that, you know, we need to pass on and make sure our, you know, demographics and our groups and audiences know about. Because it's important to know about shit like this, because that's where all of this come from. That pride, that you know, entertainment prowess, all of that, like all of that shit comes from somewhere, and it's deep rooted.
It's deep rooted. This is the type of stuff that they don't want people like us to know, and, you know, younger folks to know. This is what they try to keep from being taught and passed down in schools and whatnot. So, you know, this is why we do it. This is we don't want this history to get lost. I was definitely enthralled and interested when I even heard conversation about it just a few years ago. So, you know, shout out Ma Rainey.
Yeah. Come on now.
Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Yeah.
Highly recommended. Y'all go look at that.
Go tune it in. I actually went and streamed. You could stream the music, and you're talking about 1920,
Yes,
so
yes.
the quality is not going to
definitely-
sound like 21 Savage or anything like
It's
that.
not
Like,
giving
don't
that at all.
feel like it's not mixed and mastered, but you could definitely stream it and go check out her joints.
Stream it.
Moonshine, what was it? Moonshine Blues. Go check that joint out. That was the #1 stream joint on there.
Yep.
Shout out to Ma Rainey, man. Vintage vibes.
Vintage vibes.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, come on with the double feature vintage vibe. I
Double
love it.
feature, and that's what we got for y'all. So
Okay.
enjoy that. Hope you
Ooh.
enjoyed those micro segments.
Of course.
We got another one. We back outside in the streets.
We taking them to the
And
streets.
We're gonna take them there.
Peasy in the streets.
There's some things that I want to discuss. You know what I'm saying? All right, so we're filming this a little bit after the elections, and actually, you guys might be watching this after the elections. We're filming it the day before the elections. So we just want to
could be still going on.
Yeah. So we just want to fill y'all in on a little bit on like how I kind of went about, you know, my political process. Actually, I just want to let y'all know I went and voted early.
Okay.
I took advantage of that, really because I'm glad that they offer it. First of all, because because we grown and we got full schedules and like I be tired of shit. You know what I'm saying? So they started early voting like the week before. So I went and voted. I think that the Friday before, and you know, I just took my ass there and I was like, you know, the whole point of it is just that I like to physically put in my shit and just kind of honor the heritage of Black people and the sacrifices that were made to even do that. So that was just my whole gist of it. And like the political season is just been a little bit extra crazy, you know what I'm saying, with the news going on and all the shit that's been all the stuff that all the updates and just the stakes that's on this election.
Yeah.
But you know, all I'm doing out here is just putting my shit in and staying informed. And I hope that everybody is out doing the same. Throughout the show, we definitely have been doing what we could to inform what's been going on outside politically and through every different part of the political process. And the whole system is just, it's complex. So whether you're doing it on the city level or the state level or the federal level, it's just you should definitely know what's going on. And you know, we do our best to try to like inform what's going on our local level and city and state level as well. So it's like that's kind of like the whole motivation of the streets shit that we talking about here, and just kind of carrying that on. But this one been a little bit heavy, and it's crazy because we started this on the last election cycle. And we was talking about what was going on in the streets then. That was kind of the whole genesis of this whole shit.
And here we are wrapping it up pretty much.
So like this just the same, it's the same energy. It just feels more high stakes this time around. Yeah. So
a lot more tension, a lot more high stakes. I mean, you know, I just felt compelled to, you know, do a little more. Shout out to my baby, my fiance. He was really the one that sparked it and was like, yo, he found this organization called Swing Left, and they provide a service where they pretty much have buses that go out. They take you from New York to Pennsylvania, and you go door to door and kind of, you know, not necessarily out there trying to convince people or change minds or anything like that. You're just confirming voters. These are people who are registered already Democratic and, you know, possibly voting for Kamala, and you're just going to check in and see, yo, have you voted already? Do you have a plan to vote? Or if they're, you know, an elder person, do you have, you know, need transportation to go and vote, you know, on the day of? In Pennsylvania, you talk about, you know, having the luxury of being able to go physically and vote early, as I did as well. They don't have that luxury in Pennsylvania. They have to do early ballot, which you could mail it in, or you just have to go day of if you want to, you know, more comfortable doing the physical route. Yeah. So, you know, just knocking on doors, speaking to people and having different points of views, having real conversations with real people who are really affected and have, you know, they feel the same amount of tension from the whole process. And it's like, wow, you see, you know, opposing sides living, you know, door to door right next to each other, right across the street in the same neighborhood, but just share drastically different points of views politically. It was interesting stuff. It was a very nourishing, rewarding experience. I had a lot more fun than I thought I was going to have. And I would definitely do it again. And I, you know, encourage people to, at the very bare minimum, you know, be informed and participate and, you know, vote, at least have your voice and your opinion heard, because we all got to live in the country regardless of who wins or not. We got to be here. So you might as well, you know, have your say in it. And especially like you said, you know, being at the history of America, we couldn't do it for so long. It was illegal. Like, that's crazy. Yeah. So to not take advantage of that privilege now is you know, it's a little irresponsible. But that's neither here nor there. This is not a political podcast. Again, we just sharing, how it relates to us because we live here. So it's real life. It's part of, what goes on. It's part of what's going on in the streets. I mean, how can you not hear about it, see about it, and, be affected by it? So
absolutely.
Yeah, man. Canvassing for the first time.
Shout out. You know what I'm saying? That's definitely I definitely respect you for going out there and doing your part and taking part of the political process. Definitely salute for doing that. You know what I'm saying? And salute everybody out there. Make sure you be informed and go vote on Tuesday if you're in the state of New York or wherever you are.
We hope you voted.
We hope you voted.
Because by the time this is out,
by the time
you should have already did that.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so switching gears. There's a lot of things that have been going on community-wise. All right, so I don't know.
Oh, you mean there's more?
There's definitely more. Oof. I don't know if you heard of anyone called JoJo Siwa.
I have not.
You have not? Okay, so you might not at this point in your beautiful existence.
Okay.
If you're maybe below the age of 21,
okay,
then JoJo Siwa might be in your world.
Okay.
JoJo Siwa is a huge star.
I like the name JoJo Siwa.
Yeah. Huge star, YouTube, TikTok star.
Okay.
Content provider.
Got you.
For kids. Hundreds of millions of views, products. She might be like the Hannah Montana of Gen Alpha.
Heard you. Is that what they calling them?
That's after Gen Z, Gen Alpha.
Now they're going back. It's
going back to Greek alphabet.
Yeah, heard you.
So she is now of legal age, 21 years old. But 3 years before, in 2021, she did a TikTok where she actually came out. And there was this documentary that was released on Hulu that was created and produced by a Q+ artist that we had on the show, Demi Lovato.
Okay.
And she is kind of documenting her experience as a child star along with other child stars, not too dissimilar from the Nickelodeon one, but not coming from a way, not implicating anybody of sexual abuse. It's just the experience of being a child star goes through.
I mean, yeah.
It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
So she's there and she's got people like Kenan Thompson and another Q+ artist, Raven Simone.
Yes, that's a little girl. That's a little girl. Remember she came out with the Mary J. Blige one?
I know My Friends of Friends. That's the one I know.
Okay.
But back to JoJo Siwa, she did a TikTok where she came out, and on the documentary she explains her whole coming out experience. And this is a person with very, very famous to these kids, hundreds of millions of views, all these endorsements, products, and very, very famous. And the minute that she comes out, she explains how she loses so many fans, has so much backlash in 2021, which blew my mind because I'm thinking, all right, we're at a point now where maybe it's not across the board, where there is widespread backlash against queer people. Like, I feel like it's a lot less than when we first came out and came in the game. So I'm not thinking that anybody that is coming out in this day and age is experiencing that. But JoJo Siwa is not. That's not what's happening. She's basically really seeing a lot of hate and losing whole sponsors like Target, like Walmart. And then I'm thinking, they are the same companies that be having a problem during Pride Month when, it's a whole backlash. When
they don't want to put no Pride merch.
Merch out, and it's a whole thing.
They don't want to put no music. They don't want to put no merch.
They don't want to do no merch.
Wow.
And I'm not putting two and two together, so my mind is being blown, but I'm like, it's and I had to. It just was like blowing my whole mind for a second.
It's hard to wrap your mind around.
It's hard to wrap my mind around because in my mind I'm thinking, okay, she has that right just because.
And how old is she?
Right now she's about 21. So in 2021 she was 18.
Wow.
So they're thinking about it like she's a role model for all these kids and blah blah blah. And yeah, that's cool and all, but she's also telling her truth. She's living her truth, and yeah, I get it, but still,
that's interesting. But is she saying she lost it all, like, or she lost a lot of fans?
She sort of lost her fans, but also at the same time, she gained a lot of support.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's kind of to be expected to a certain extent, especially if you are such a big artist that kind of builds a name outside of like leaning into any of that. Yeah. And then you come out, I mean, I guess, but to lose a lot of support, that's weird. And
so she was just talking about it
this day and age.
I guess she's talking about it on like a few other platforms and podcasts. It's not like she's like too affected by it, because we were just talking about the fact that it just looks different when you still have the privilege of surviving because you're in a different class.
Exactly.
You don't really
That's why I'm like, where's she at
much.
now? Like,
yeah, she's still rich. She's still like doing okay. It's just the fact that you kind of have to recalibrate when you come out and it's a whole thing.
That is surprising, especially coming from like the pop lane. Like I would expect that from something like a Christian artist. Like if you were singing gospel and then you came out, then it'd be like, okay, well, most of your supporters probably wasn't on that from the start, but for a young pop artist, TikToker fame, dancer,
it's kind of surprising, but it still happens, and that's what's going on. But it just kind of took me aback for a second that's kind of really what happens. But it also made me realize that certain people in certain classes might have a certain level of immunity no matter what the backlash is, but there's just still a lot of people out there that when they still stand to lose a certain amount of that privilege if they're not in a certain class. There's a lot of people I talk to who are bisexual, but they can't come out that way because they have whole lives that they built, that if they work for a certain company and they tell a colleague that they are a part of the LGBT community and they identify that way, there's a chance that they could lose their livelihood. And this still exists in this society. And I just think that's incredible. Like, not good, but not good in any way.
It's just astonishing.
It's a reality. And I've been talking to these people at these parties that we be going to. It's just crazy.
Yep.
But that's what's really going on out here in these streets. I just want to let you know.
Shit.
All right. So remember Tyler, the Creator, he back with another album. I think that shit is garbage. Next. Next. What you thought? My bad. I ain't.
No, listen, it's your segment, but damn.
Goodbye. Hated it. I heard 2 songs. I wasn't feeling it at all.
Oh, that's all you heard?
I heard 2 songs. I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling it.
I heard the whole project.
You heard it? You heard it? What you thought?
I wasn't.
You wasn't on board?
Yeah, not so far. It was
okay.
I need more listens, but I'm not excited.
Well, the general consensus, is that it's mid. It's very mid.
A lot of people saying
it's mid. A lot of people saying it's mid. And my thing is like, if it's mid and you already like,
you can't put out mid.
You can't put out mid. It was already like pulling teeth for me to like listen to the other shit. So like, if you got me you gotta pull teeth for me to listen to your latest shit, and it's mid,
you off it.
Right? Exactly. That's how it goes. I'm sorry.
No need to apologize. Like, you put out mid.
I know, right? Like, sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
All right. So next, Megan Thee Stallion. Ooh, great documentary.
Okay, I gotta see it.
I didn't listen to the
Hulu,
part
Netflix?
2 yet. It's on Amazon Prime.
Oof.
Why you trying to say it like that? Damn. But you got my Amazon Prime password though. They had to say it like that. My goodness. That it's so real out here. All right. I don't know if I'm listening to part 2 of Megan though. I'm
What you mean?
She put out part 2 of the album.
Oh,
damn.
no, I fucks with Meg, but it's been I don't know. I'm gonna listen to it. I'm gonna listen to it.
It's been a hard life.
I'm gonna definitely listen to it.
It's a hard knock life out here.
I didn't know. I honestly didn't even know it came out.
It's a hard knock life.
I'm gonna check out the doc too.
It's a whole lot. It's a whole
Word.
lot.
Like, listen, Meg need to have her story heard. It's fucked up.
All right. So next on the docket. All right, y'all. I don't know if y'all heard.
Oh, we doing book endorsements.
I don't know if y'all heard of this woman right here.
Hey.
All right. She came out with a memoir. That's EVE.
I love the word memoir.
You know what I'm saying? That's EVE right there. I just want to endorse the memoir. I've read it, and it is quite enthralling to read all the way through. I'm just going to give a couple of tidbits from what I gathered here. She was actively trying to become pregnant when she read the script for Queens. She discovered she had fibroids years before, and that was the reason she had miscarried. She discovered she miscarried like around the time she was doing her sitcom, Eve.
Yeah.
So, you know, she had fibroids. She got surgery for it. She was actively trying to become pregnant when she got the script.
Damn.
And then when she shot the pilot, she became pregnant. So when the season started, she was already kind of shaky about the situation. And at that point, she was like, I'm not doing a second season.
Oh, wow. She already nipped it in
She
the bud.
already was not trying to do a second season. And I was like, damn, it was doomed from the start.
Yeah, like, what if it would have popped? Like,
the most she would do, is she said, is if it does ever get picked up by anybody or come back, the most she would do is like a spot date. So that's why they ended it on like in a way where
that was it.
It was a cliffhanger.
Oh, okay.
So she could come back.
Oh, so she could possibly just pop up on some bullshit.
Right.
EVE.
Oh my God, damn. Oh, you get tired. I love that shit too much. Way too much.
Okay.
All right. The other tidbit. All right, so she hired Suge Knight to negotiate better terms for her deal before she went to record Evolution. So she's coming off of winning the first Grammy for Best Rap Song Collaboration for Let Me Blow Your Mind. Went to number 2 on the pop charts. She's hot. So she's like red hot. And it's time for her third album. She's like peak. So she's trying to get some more money and get a little bit more creative control for her record. Her label is not hearing it. So she says she goes and hires Suge to kind of help renegotiate. She brings Suge to the Interscope offices, and that's when the relations kind of soured because Jimmy Iovine, who was the head of Interscope at that point, was really not feeling that. And so like slowly the support for her at Interscope kind of soured. The singles really weren't hitting after Gangsta Lovin'. That was like the big single off Evolution, and then after that she put out another song, Satisfaction. It did all right, and then after that she kind of went a while without putting music. Because she did Barbershop, and then she did the sitcom, and then Tambourine came out.
Oh my God! You're getting a hold. This guy.
They didn't want Tambourine. My bad.
Shake a tambourine, going.
And then it just kind of went down. But that was kind of like how it went for her. But her last album, Lip Lock, she put out independently. She was trying to find support for it, but they weren't. But you know, nobody was really kind of supporting her career at that time. So she put it out independently. Did it kind of how she wanted, and that was what we was listening to earlier. She was, you know, getting other people to kind of help her produce it, and it was her personal like achievement, her project. So I was like, okay, I see where she was coming from with the project itself and what she was trying to do. And I was like, that's great. Like she kind of got the whole indie thing out of her, like, because we do this, we put out our own projects all the time. We never
she got to get her shit off, her indie shit off.
Yeah. And I kind of was like, all right, you know, I dig it. I didn't really enjoy the project that much when it first came out, but I can appreciate what she was trying to do.
Okay.
So that was what I got from the book. And lastly, we got a new ally on our hands. Want to give a shout out to Trina. You know what I'm saying? The baddest bitch. You know what I'm saying? She has a little part in her book where she definitely gives her support to the LGBT community and talks about having a family member where she, her Uncle Perry was kind of been there since she was in high school. And, she's kind of always had friends and colleagues who are LGBTQ and has always gotten support and supported them back and has always enjoyed that and supported in that way. And because she put it in a book, I don't think there's any bigger way, than to kind of voice it in that way. So we just kind of want to give her props and shout out to her memoir, The Baddest, which is out.
Okay.
And,
Come
shout
on
out to
with
Trina.
the memoirs from the female hip hop artist.
You know what I'm saying?
Love it.
So we want to give her support. The Baddest Bitch is out. So The Baddest is the name of the memoir, not The Baddest Bitch. But, you already know how that go.
Who's bad?
And that is what's happening out here in these streets.
Okay, so the Skreetz is live, man. It's a lot going on.
It is a lot. It is a lot.
The climate is very thick, tense. It's heavy. But
how we doing out
smoke
here?
Gonna clear. The smoke gonna clear. But speaking of smoke, I could do for a little smoking session in the smoking section. Woo! Come on, man. I love this section. I love this section of the game. Let's go ahead and they go to lighter.
All right,
go ahead and hit that, light that up. So we like to get inquisitive.
Okay.
Who got the pre-rolls, man? Like where the pre-rolls at? You got the pre-rolls?
I thought you had them.
You got the pre?
I thought you had them.
I ain't have. Nah, the pre-rolls is out. I don't usually do pre-rolls, but we're gonna talk about them today because we don't really mention the pre-rolls like that. Because I'm a blunt smoker myself, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I grew up on the blunts. I roll blunts to this day. We about to hit the piece right now. You know what I'm saying? We don't really do the pre-rolls. Now you got the joints. You roll your own joint. You know what I'm saying? I pack a cone, my raw cone every now and then. But the pre-roll, now you might have seen it in dispensaries or you go to the little mom and pop joints that might be selling the weed at the bodega. And they have the little joints, or some of them kind of big, and they're pre-rolled joints that you can buy from the store. You could buy them in by Lucy's, or you could buy them in packs of 3s. And they come in different sizes. They come with different strains. They even come infused. So it's kind of popping right now with the pre-rolls. They're taking up a big sector of the marijuana market. It's about 40-45% of the sector they're raking in. So really popular. It's on the rise. And there's a few key trends that's going to determine, how this plays out in the future. As far as are they going to keep, taking over the bulk of the share of the marijuana industry, or is it going to fizzle out? Now, I'm not a pre-roll guy myself. It is convenient. It has its pros, its cons. But a few keys to look at. So the infused pre-rolls. Now, when I say infused, I'm talking about the joints that are kind of combined. So you got a regular pre-roll where you just pack a joint. You can buy it. It's already packed, right? It's like buying a cigarette, a Lucy. But it's weed. The infused joints, you got your keef, your hash, or oil. You're going to add that concentrate to your pre-roll. So it's not just weed. You kind of lacing it almost with cannabis concentrate. What? So if you ever had keef is like the shake or the powder that you get from your grinder. It kind of settles in the dust underneath the chamber of the screen. You kind of open that up and you can get the sand. It's almost powdery. That's keef. Yeah, you open that bottom chamber and you scrape that up. That's the keef. That's kind of like a dust. It's like weed dust. It's almost like the crystals and the hairs and all of the fine pieces. That holds a lot of THC. It's concentrated. You scoop that up, spread it on your pre-roll. Or, they kind of dust it on the outside of the pre-roll. So you pack a pre-roll, pack a joint, and on the outside, they'll coat it with the keef. So that's kind of how they do that. Or they'll take the hash, which is kind of like almost like a toffee consistency, and they twist that into like a little worm, and they put that in the joint. So that's another way to infuse it. Easy over there with that joint.
I'm gonna blow this out, and I did the wrong thing.
Or they'll just take the oil and, they can kind of add a little oil to the joint. So that's how they had the infused joints. And these are becoming really popular. But like we said, at the same time these are becoming popular, they're also highly infused and increasing the THC levels of these products. So these people are getting, more and more used to high THC products. Their tolerance is also going up. So, you need more THC. When back in the day, you only used to have maybe 13% was considered high. Today, I mean, you approaching like the 30s, 32, 35 is like high.
Wow.
Like that's crazy. That's a big jump. So you're talking about infusing, regular joints that's already high in THC with more concentration. But that's really popular. People are taking off, and that's encouraging brands to invest in, experimenting with more exotic strains, more, different rare and unseen fusions. So that's what's kind of coming next. And then also freshness. So one of my things or my gripes with pre-rolls, they're usually kind of stale. It's usually a little bit hard. You don't necessarily always know what strain of weed you're getting with it. You kind of just like, all right, let me get the pre-roll, boom, boom. Nowadays, you go to the right spot, they have it labeled for you. You know exactly what you're getting. But that's kind of one of the things that's been a gripe with consumers. So the quality, the freshness, they're coming up with ways to store it better. So they have these humidors where they're containers that control the humidity and the temperature. And you store it in these, and that kind of maintains the freshness. It's almost like having it in a sealed bag. You know how you have a sealed bag of chips? You keep it sealed, they stay fresh. You open it up, they get stale and hard, like a piece of bread. So that's kind of what they're doing. They're learning and advancing in the supply chain management, and that's gonna be another thing that's gonna help boost the popularity of the pre-rolls, right? So sustainability is another thing. Everybody's also all about the climate, all about being green. Compostable packaging. That's kind of one of the big things that all of the brands are focusing on now, especially when it comes to the pre-rolls, because that's already paper, the tips. They're thinking about all of that stuff being, being able to break down and being recyclable, compostable, and then even the packaging, which in the past they were using, heavy plastics. Now they're using reusable containers. And then the fourth key component and trend to look at, automation. You talk about tech, you talk about AI. That's going to play a major role in the production aspect of the pre-rolls, because you got machines that are being made that's helping, exponentially scale the production quality and the efficiency, and they producing at a higher rate. So it's just going to get crazy. It's going to be a big explosion. Maybe I wasn't the biggest pre-roller, but that's a lot of time and energy and effort that goes into rolling your own joints. Buying a pre-roll, it might be a new little, I might have to reconsider it. Reevaluate, see what's going on. Try a couple of these infused joints. Although, given our last segment, might have to be easy because the potency of these trees that they're growing now, along with the infusions, you might have to, save that for more of a treat every now and then, a once in a blue thing, as opposed to, staying on that consistently. But, we all grown, and it is what it is. You smoke at your own leisure and use your own discretion. And we're going to do it like that. How you feeling about the pre-rolls? Do you fuck with the pre-rolls? Do you buy them normally? How do you partake?
I don't. I usually am given one when somebody, and I don't know.
You just get a pre-roll out at the parties, yeah.
They usually give them to me, and
that's true.
It is what it is. I get what's coming, but I didn't know they were already. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, it's a thing. They out here. They selling them.
I didn't know they were set up like Okay. I didn't think about it. I thought they were all the same.
No, see, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying.
It's kind of how I looked at them as they all look the same.
They trying to expand the lane, and it's growing apparently. So the next few years, we're going to keep an eye on it. And, you know, it is what it is. Fuck with the pre-rolls. Mm-hmm. And on that note, we're going to end it like we always like to end it. On the motherfucking high note.
Woo woo.
This is it, what? Fettuccine with the team, we getting lit, what? Got it rolled up, now who really tryna hit? One, puff, puff, then we pass, then we pass.